Hello everyone, this is Stacey Chatman, your OCB Mountain State Classic promoter. I am so excited about our journey this year. I'm trying to, get our t-shirts out there for athletes that are interested in our show. I'm going to wave at someone who's joined our chat. Hi, I'm Stacey Chatman, the OCB Mountain State Classic promoter in the state of West Virginia. So I have a special treat for us this afternoon. I've been busy. Let's see what I've done. Over the weekend, I have ordered our official Mountain State Classic t-shirts, and they are made with a dry tack material, so they're muscle t-shirts. So therefore, when our competitors are working out, they have that free zone to do what they got to do and all that good stuff. So be on the lookout for the official t-shirts that will arrive in the next few weeks. I'm so excited about that. But I want to also say that this is our third year, and I'm so excited. And with it being our third year, I have decided to have a body transformation division. You know, a lot of people may not have known that. Hi, Keith. You're awesome too, Keith. Keith competed at the OCB Mountain State Classic. He is a Masters Pro, and he is just phenomenal. And he and I are going to also be doing some great things together. But I have decided this year to do a body transformation division. And I myself have lost over 75 pounds in my fitness journey. So I have also had to transform my body. So anybody out there that, is transforming their body, they're trying to lose weight, I totally get it. One of the things I want to tell anybody that's transforming their body is you do have to be patient with your journey, and you do have to be consistent with your journey. So with this, I have met an awesome gentleman. His name is John Kolbosky, and he is the director and owner of T2 Nutrition. And he is here, and I hope I can get him on the line here, because that's what this interview is going to be about. He's going to talk about his journey. He's going to talk about his transformation. He's going to motivate you, people who want to enter the body transformation division at the OCB Mountain State Classic. I mean, he's awesome. So let me see if I can get him into the chat. So guys, be patient. Let me see where he is. I thought I did see his name come up somewhere. Let's see. Here he is. Let me see. Great. I clicked you in, John. There you are.
I'm here.
John. How are you?
Hello.
John.
How you doing, everybody?
Yes. Okay, so John, talk about T2 Nutrition. Talk about your certification, because that's very important as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
talk about your transformation and everything that you told me maybe on Wednesday.
Okay, sure. Well, I guess we should probably start at the beginning. Back in 2007, I was a guy who went to work every day, had a wife and 4 kids, and pretty much ate what I wanted to eat, ate what I wanted to eat, and did what I wanted to do, and wasn't paying attention to the fact that my family had a long history of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and the like. So one day I got a rude awakening when I woke up in Winchester Medical Center after being in a diabetic coma. My blood sugar had been over 500 pounds, or over 500, and I hadn't weighed myself in a long time. And I actually found out through this whole process that I weighed 405 pounds.
So,
the doctor.
Sometimes I'm going to interject, because you said something very important. Did you know? You said you had a family history of diabetes?
Yes, yes. My mother had it and the like.
Right. So did you know at the before you went into your diabetic coma, did you know you were diabetic? And were you
No,
taking?
I had no, and see,
Wow.
that's the scary thing about type 2 diabetes, especially. You can live with it for years and never know.
Wow. So you did not know you had diabetes before the surgery.
No, no, not at all. And like I said, I didn't take care of myself. I didn't pay attention to my weight. And the doctor told me, hey, dude, you weigh 405 pounds. And if you keep going the way you're going now, you'll be dead in a year. So it was a pretty big wake up call. And over the process of the first year, I just by cutting out soda and staying away from sugary stuff, I lost almost 100 pounds.
Wow.
From there,
that is
go
very
ahead.
powerful. And there's also stop right there because people are chiming in, and I want to give a
Okay.
awesome shout out to the OCB Roanoke Star. Yes, you've chimed in, and she has an upcoming show, and I think it's October 5th. So we would just want to give her a shout out, party people.
Oh, absolutely.
On that, okay. So best wishes with your show. I know it's going to be phenomenal.
Indeed.
So go ahead, John, with your phenomenal story. So the moment you found out you had type 2 diabetes was the moment that you went into a coma.
Yeah, well, actually, I was at work and fell into a coma. I was taken to the hospital by ambulance, and I knew nothing until I woke up, and my wife and kids were standing over me crying, and then the doctor proceeded to give me his news. So I was completely oblivious to it. And I was the type of guy that I drank a gallon plus of Mountain Dew throughout the course of the day. I would eat an entire pizza for lunch. I mean, it was crazy the way I was treating my body. And it was just a matter of saying, okay, I need to change my lifestyle. I need to cut out some of this stuff and start paying attention to what I'm doing. And like I said, in that first year, I lost almost 100 pounds.
Kudos.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So, but from there, it was kind of like, I needed to know more. I needed to know how my body worked. I needed to know how certain things that I was eating and things of that nature were affecting my body. Because through tracking my blood sugar, I would notice that some days I would have real good levels and then other days I wouldn't. So I was reading an article one day, and the article basically told me that the more lean muscle mass you have, the more efficient your body is at burning whatever fuel you put in it. Okay, carbohydrates especially. So that sparked something in me, and I started studying. I started doing a lot of research, and I actually was driving by a gym one day and said, you know what? I'm going to pull in here and I'm going to start lifting weights.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, so that started, and I had some stumbling blocks along the way. I went into the gym and was lifting with my ego rather than my brain, and had some injuries, but all in all, I never gave up. And finally, I got to the point in 2014 where the doctor looked at me and said, you no longer need to be on diabetic medicine. You're not cured. You're never cured of type 2 diabetes, but as long as I continue the lifestyle that I've built for myself, I never had to worry about type 2 diabetes anymore.
Right.
So at that point in time, I was like, you know what?
Very key. You said something very key, the lifestyle that you have built for yourself. And that is
exactly,
because this is a lifestyle. You know?
Indeed.
Right.
Yep, indeed. I stress that so much with all my clients. I'm real thorough when it comes to getting information from people that I start working with, because I want to know more than just, okay, what bad foods are you eating? What good foods are you eating? I want to know why you decide at 11 o'clock at night that you're going to sit down with a pint of ice cream.
Right.
I want to know why you decide that you're going to eat 4 slices of birthday cake at a birthday party. You know, and not only do I want to know why, I want to know what's making you feel that way. How do you feel when you're doing it?
Right.
Because all of that stuff.
You want to get behind the emotion. You want to get behind the psyche. And, you know, we all have to do that with any type of goal that you're planning. I know for me, and I'm going to put this out there, y'all, because I will do another competition. And me training for this last competition, I have to really think about my mind, and as I train and everything such as that, my motivation, what is key, even with all the personal things that is going on in my life, because we all have things going on. So you're absolutely right with you being a nutritionist, party people that have chimed in, and lots of people have chimed in, that,
Right.
it is about the mind first, and it is about the triggers. It is about the patterns that we've created for ourselves. And John
Exactly.
saying something so key, in he wants to, as he's working with clients, he wants to get their background first, because that's how he's going to be able to, steer you guys to the stage, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be completely honest, guys. Anybody that works with me, the very first thing I'm going to do is send you my intake form, and it's 7 pages long. I ask a lot of questions, but the more information that I get from people, the easier it is for me to figure out what it is that's going on, and the better programs that I can design for them in the long run.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Absolutely. So where are you at with your journey right now? I know you told
my
me
journey right now. I can tell you that at my lowest weight, I lost an entire person. I lost 163 pounds.
Wow.
That was at my lowest weight. Now, currently, I've picked a little weight back up. I am waiting this next month. I have knee replacement surgery. However, the fact that I've stayed in the gym and stayed healthy and paid attention to my nutrition has put me in a position where most people, when they go in and have a knee replaced, they're in the hospital for 1 to 2 days. My surgery is going to be outpatient surgery. They're sending me home the same day.
Wow,
they're going to send a physical therapist in to see me for a week, and they're like, as healthy as you are, there's absolutely no reason to put you through what most people go through. So, but ultimately, I still plan on competing in the bodybuilding competition at some point. I'll be 53 in January, and since I started lifting weights in 2013 I've put on over 30 pounds of muscle.
Awesome.
So, and at my age and doing it all naturally, I think that's pretty good.
That's awesome. And a lot of people don't know that when I first started personal training, and I was a fit for surgery specialist, okay?
Ooh.
So I worked with Winchester Medical Center as a fit for surgery specialist. And with that, I actually got people conditioned to have surgery, have knee replacement surgeries.
Oh.
And it was an awesome experience working with these clients, because number one, and a lot of people don't know, as we get older, you have to, before you have surgery, you have to have the lung capacity to even handle the anesthesia, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, when you have knee replacement surgery, your muscles need to be really, really strong. That means your quads, your hamstrings, your hips, everything like that. So the fact that you have been working out and they know that, and you are fit, that's what made them to decide to send you home as an outpatient, which I think that's phenomenal. So you should really applaud yourself on that, for taking control and being proactive with your health.
Yeah. I mean, I had no idea my whole goal when all this started was I just wanted to get as healthy as I could and get off of diabetic medicine. Okay. But then once I got off the diabetic medicine, I was like, well, shoot, now I don't have a goal to work for. What do I do now? What am I going to use to motivate me besides my wife and my kids and my grandkids?
Right.
And my doctor looked at me and she said, for what you've been doing in the gym and for your size, you're a big guy, because I'm like 6'2". She's like, you should try bodybuilding. Now, mind you, at this time I was 47 years old, and I'm like, don't you think I'm a little old for something like that? And she's like, absolutely not. There are people that compete into their 60s and 70s.
OCB Pro, he said, you're not,
Oh, I know, I saw.
Age is nothing but a number, right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And, it wasn't until I actually started looking at possibly competing myself that I started paying attention in the gym. I started paying attention to some of the people around me. And there are many times that I'm in the gym working out that I'm in there busting my butt twice as hard as guys half my age. Right. I'm in there putting in the work while they're sitting around talking with their buddies and texting on their phones.
Right. You're on a mission. You're on another level, as they say.
Absolutely.
Your level.
Absolutely.
So I'm so excited, though, for our collaboration and our meeting.
Oh.
And, so let's talk about us with the OCB Mountain State Classic. You're going to work with our transformation class.
Yes. And I am super excited about that too. I really, really am. One of my things, my mission as far as when I started my business, I named my business T2 Nutrition for a reason. I want to do everything I can to eradicate type 2 diabetes. I want to do everything possible because it's 100% preventable. The number one thing that causes type 2 diabetes, you may be predisposed to it, but the number one thing that causes it is obesity, being overweight. And right now, I'm actually in the middle of writing an ebook about type 2 diabetes. And one of the things I found in my research is the last printed statistic was like 2017, I believe. And it was like 39% of all adults in the world are obese. You know, it's an epidemic. It's an absolute epidemic. And I know how getting fit and you know, trying to make myself better for me, for my wife, for my kids. I know what that meant to me. And I know how there are so many people out there in the world that want to transform. They want to get healthier, but they don't have a clue how. And that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm all about.
That is very true. There are a lot of people still in this day and age that don't know how to get fit. And it is our job. I know I've been immersed in it since 2003. And I take value in that. And I don't take it for granted. It's one of my gifts to help people get fit and be fit. At the beginning of my journey, people called me a fanatic, and I kept forging on with my path. And, I do know that I do inspire others and to be well and to be fit. And I'm 51. So age, Keith, is nothing but a number, right?
Absolutely.
And that's good that you have taken, and this is key, party people, Keith, you have taken, John, something that could have been devastating. And you forged forward to help others.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so many people when they hear that, they're obese and because of that X, Y, or Z medical condition has come upon them or whatever the case may be, so many people just shut down. And the fact of the matter is, like, nowadays, in today's world, the first thing everybody does is turn to the internet, which is great because back when I started all this, the resources that were on the internet, you never knew what to believe and what not to believe. And while you still have a lot of that out there, you've got resources like PubMed and other things where people that don't have a clue can actually go on there and read scientific research about what type 2 diabetes is, how it develops and how it affects you. You can read about how obesity is the number one cause of heart disease. Right. All these things that we now have at our fingertips through our phones even, that people didn't have 10, 15 years ago. So, I'm thankful that we have all that stuff now. I'm thankful that the platform is there. I'm super thankful that the platform's there because that's what connected you and I. And that is what has put me on this mission to just jump on this transformation division and help as many people as possible change their lives.
Right. So there's two points that I want to make right now. Okay. And Keith said texting on the phone, he's talking about when you're in the gym and you're really focused, right?
Yes.
So Keith said texting on the phone while working out, no intensity. Young folk make me laugh, right? So you're going in there focused, you have another level that you're trying to achieve. And, and sometimes when you're working out, and I agree, Keith, when I'm working out, I just don't really want to bring out that phone and take a selfie. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You're on a mission, and there's only 24 hours in a day. So I get that. Yeah. But now, David, I want to wave at you because David has brought in one of the most serious questions on our chat. And he says, I have a question. I'm a clean, steroid-free lifter. Okay? And John, the OCB is a natural organization, meaning our competitors, we polygraph our competitors, and we also urine test our competitors. Okay. So we don't accept steroids. Right. So David, congratulations on you being a steroid-free lifter. Okay?
Absolutely.
Keep working hard. And he does that factor into training or rest? A lot of the plans you see in magazines are put together by steroid using pros.
Mm-hmm. Well, now
And
from a nutrition standpoint, let me jump in here real quick, Stacey. From a nutrition standpoint, it makes absolutely no difference as far as steroids are concerned. Whether you're taking steroids or not, if you're taking steroids, you still have to eat. You still have to get the proper nutrition. If you're taking steroids, you still have to put in the work at the gym. It's not like steroids are a magic pill. So from a nutrition aspect, David, you absolutely don't have to worry about it affecting things as far as you not being on steroids. If your nutrition is on point, especially like if you're trying to put on size, for example, you should be getting like 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per pound of lean muscle mass. Okay. Not per pound of body weight, because that factors in body fat, and we don't want to do that. You want to get the optimum amount of protein. So you want to keep it between 1.5 and 2 grams. And the other thing too is it all depends on your protocol. Some people don't use high carbohydrates to build muscle. Some people do. It's all a matter of what works best for you. And that's the best thing about when you have a coach, you make sure that that coach is absolutely tuned into you. You don't want cookie cutter programs. You don't want somebody saying, well, this is what this is what all my clients use. I have all my clients on the same diet. This is what they use, and they all have great results. Well, the guy might have 10 clients, and that particular plan does work well for them. But you have to do what's best for you. It's trial and error. If you're not using a coach, you have to figure it out. But at the end of the day, you don't need steroids to do what you need to do. And it won't affect your rest or anything else.
awesome. Thank you for that. So can you talk a little bit, John, about macros?
Well, I kind of touched on it there just a minute. For people that are trying to put on size, you want to make sure that your protein levels are high. Like I said, I recommend 1.5 to 2, depending on how much size you're trying to put on. Some things factor into that. If you're an older individual, I may dial back the protein a little bit, because there has been research that's shown that extremely high protein intake in older individuals, where there's already been a little wear and tear on the kidneys and whatnot, can cause issues. But again, everything is all, it all breaks down to the individual. Fats, obviously, unless I'll be completely honest, folks. I live a ketogenic lifestyle. Okay. So I don't run away from fat. I don't trim the fat off my steak. I leave the fat on my pork chops. That's just me. It works for me. And, I've in the years that I've been doing it, I've been able to put on a fair amount of muscle. But fats, you definitely want to steer clear from if you are not on a ketogenic protocol. The fats that you want to concentrate on are your healthy fats, things like avocado and nut butters and things like that. For so many years, fats got a bad rap. They got a really, really bad rap. Your polyunsaturated, your monounsaturated fats, those things are incredibly healthy for you.
Right.
And that's a big misconception. Saturated fat is also healthy for you. You need saturated fat because it helps with processes in the body that, and it doesn't get the fat anywhere else. So you have to ingest, saturated fats. What you want to stay away from is your trans fats, because that is chemically induced fats. And those types of things, your body can't digest them, so they're absolutely no good for you. And carbohydrates, again, it's just one of those things. Some people do very, very well with 200 to 300 grams of carbohydrates or even more a day when they're in the process of trying to put on size.
Right.
But what winds up happening is, and this is something else that I've been dealing with when writing this ebook, is that when you are flooding your body with carbohydrates and those carbohydrates are not getting used, your liver stores them as body fat. Okay. That is the mechanism in your body to handle excess carbohydrates. Once your cells become full, your insulin receptors shut down. And when that happens, all the carbohydrates, all the glucose is floating around in your bloodstream. And that's when the liver takes over and turns it into body fat. So carbohydrates is something you got to watch. Fats is you got to watch. Keep your protein high. That's my suggestions.
That's your suggestion. So I'm so excited that we are collaborating and we are working together with our body transformation competitors. So I'm so excited for this year to have that. Again, I lost 75 pounds. in my journey, and then I became a competitor. And so I am very passionate about when people transform their bodies. I know it's not easy. It isn't easy. It isn't easy.
No.
And you do need support. So I'm glad that this year that I'm collaborating with you to have that support. So is there anything else? Tell the people how they can get in touch with you.
Okay. Well, obviously I'm on Facebook. You can find me. You can find T2 Nutrition. I also have a T2 Wellness page. You can just find me at my name, John Kowaleski. I'm on Instagram, obviously, at T2 Nutrition and Wellness. Actually working on setting up a YouTube channel. You can also find me as a moderator in a big group on Facebook called Dad Bod Transformation, and it's all about people transforming their lives, and they do some pretty amazing things as well.
Well, I'm going to see, because we did have a lot of people chime in, so we're going to give people 1 minute. You got 1 minute. If there's a question that you would like to ask John, please post it right now. And in that, during that time, I'm going to talk about an OCB 101 seminar that I'm scheduling or have scheduled at the Gold's Gym in Charlestown, West Virginia on October the 12th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And it is $20. So if you are a new competitor, please register, come out. Registration will be open for another week. So please contact me. You can send me a message on the Instagram page, and I will be happy to answer your questions about the seminar. So let me see. You got about 30 seconds, party people, if you want to ask John or myself a question. So let's see if does anybody have any other questions. I'm going to scroll through to see. Let's see. So just give me a second, guys. I know the NFL has started. Redskins are playing right now. We'll see how that goes. Right?
They just ask another
we'll see
question.
how that goes. Ted, my friend, Ted has joined, and he most definitely is looking at the transformation division. Okay, works out of Baltimore, and I manage government gyms, and that's where I met him, and he is such a motivator. So, John, I do want you to follow him on Instagram. He's
absolutely. Yeah, David asked another question, Stacey. He asked, what protein source does the body process easiest? Okay. Yeah, the question actually did make sense, David. And really, when it comes down to it, protein is protein. It all is broken down in the body the same way. What affects as far as how long it takes to break down or whatever will depend on what you take in with it. For example, if you take in a protein source and at the same time you're taking in a fair amount of fiber, the fiber will slow down the digestion of the protein. Same thing with fats. Like a lot of people have a tendency, especially when they're trying to put on size, I've noticed the big thing is they'll make these shakes where they do their protein powder and they add in peanut butter and they add in oatmeal and stuff like that. Well, your peanut butter adds in fats. Your oatmeal adds in fiber. So if you do those two things together, that's a great shake for like in the morning for breakfast, because first of all, you have the satiety, standpoint that it'll keep you full longer, but it'll also spread that amino acid drip from the proteins out for a longer period of time. But as far as if you just want to get the protein in your system as fast as possible, just use a good whey isolate protein that, doesn't have a lot of extra junk and fillers in it. And I personally like to make mine with, I make it with like a cup of almond milk and then a cup of liquid egg whites. It adds in protein, it adds in potassium, and it still breaks down into your body just as fast.
Absolutely. I agree with all that. I
hope that answered your question, David.
For 7 years, so I know the competitor's diet, okay?
Right.
So that was on point. And sometimes you gotta phase in and phase out between that, depending on where you are with how close you are to the stage, right? The protein and the oatmeal, or just protein and the egg whites. It all depends on how close you are to the stage.
Absolutely.
So, guys, I think this has been an awesome connection with you. I am so looking forward to collaborating with you. So, guys, David said, let me see what David said. David said one more thing, and you might see it first, John. He said, You guys rock. Thanks for the information. Hey, David, the thing that I want to say to you, you're doing it right. Okay. No steroids. Okay.
Thank you, David. Thanks for asking the questions. It makes things like this so much easier when people actually contribute by asking questions and whatnot. Otherwise, I mean, we have our talking points, but then we just sit around going, what do we do now?
David asked great questions. And Keith, thank you so much. I am motivated by you as well. Good luck on your upcoming competition. You rock, and you're going to rock that stage. So thank you so much for chiming in too. So other than that, John, I'm going to go let you. And who is your NFL team? Do you have one?
I'm a San Francisco 49er fan. I'm not one of those people that sits around and watches football. I'm actually, you called me, I was actually going to be doing this in my new podcast studio that I'm putting together for the Dad Bod Transformation podcast. But I was like in the middle of things and I didn't have it done in time. So that's why I'm doing it on my phone and it's all wiggly and everything. I was actually going to do it all on webcam and have everything looking nice and cool. But maybe next time.
Maybe next time. Well, I'm going to get off here and meal prep for my Sunday meal prep. And guys, you rock. Thank you, everyone that has chimed in. Greatly appreciate it. I look forward to my continued collaboration with John. We're going to be doing lots of more Instagram lives. So just stay tuned. And everybody, God bless and have a great Sunday. Okay?
Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Stacey.
Bye, John.